Hello, welcome to the Maya Tool Belt. This is Michael. In this video, we're going to be starting a new series of videos for the Maya Tool Belt, all focusing on UV tools. You'll find UV tools in the UV editor. UV editor can be found in many different ways. If you go to Windows, UV editor, you can find it here. It's also in the UV menu, which can be found in the modeling menu set. In the UV menu here, you have UV editor as well. And if you have the polygons shelf open, the UV editor is this button right here. Lots of ways to open the UV editor. The UV editor is a huge beast of an editor. There are so many tools and commands within this one aspect of Maya that it will take me quite a few videos to go over all of it. I do want to. We may not do necessarily every single one before we move on to something else. Don't necessarily want to be stuck on the UV editor for months on end, because I could easily see that happening just based on how much there is here. But I do want to go over, at the very minimum, the most commonly used tools and commands in the UV editor, and maybe also some ones that are not so common but are also handy. So the main things we're going to be looking at are tools, and you can find all these tools over here on the left side of the UV editor menus. We have lots of tools here. If we look under the tool menu that is found within the UV editor, you can see them all listed here. You see there's lots of these green highlighted tools, and you'll notice in the kind of UV editor shelf, so to speak, there's a lot of these green highlighted tools. The green highlight indicates something that's new in Maya 2016 specifically. So these tools here, you see these four tools here go along with this section here, and these green highlighted tools here go along with this section here. So this first one up here is the UV Lattice tool. Then we have the Move UV Shell tool, Select Shortest Edge Path tool, and then the Tweak UV tool here. So these four tools are not new to 2016, but there's still a lot to them. Then we have lots of new tools here. We have the Unfold UV tool, the Cut UV tool, the Grab UV tool, as well as the Pinch UV tool. Below that we have the Optimize UV tool, Sew UV tool, Pin UV tool, and Smear UV tool. Now I want to go over all of these tools within the next several videos that we're going to be talking about within the next several videos that I make. So the Maya tool belt has kind of become the UV editor tool belt for a little while. We want to go over everything eventually. And we're also probably going to talk about some of these other things as well that are very commonly used, such as the flip selected UV buttons here and rotate selected UV buttons here, and as well as some of our align buttons here, which I use quite often. And we will get to the rest of this eventually. And if you have a specific request, like, hey, I know you said you're going to do these tools, but I really want you to do, for example, UV texture editor baking on and off right here. If you have a specific request of something that I'm not going over necessarily soon, I can bump up the priority for that. But I wanted to make this kind of an introductory video just to let you know what's going to be happening, so you'll know for the next, 10 videos or so, we're going to be going over a lot of these UV editor tools, and they all have these options. So we have lots of stuff to talk about for each one. Okay, so just so you know, you're going to be seeing a lot of this. I'll try and break it up as much as I can without taking too long. I want to try and get through it relatively quickly. I'll try to increase my video production speed as well, so I can get more of these out in a shorter period of time. The last couple months have been kind of hectic, but I'm going to try and focus on getting more of these out sooner, so you're not having 6 months of UV editor tools. We can do this in a month or so and move on to some other aspects of Maya, and then we'll come back to the UV editor and finish up more tools as we move on, because there's so many tools in the UV editor. We'd have a year of videos just going over all this stuff. The first video going over some of these tools are going to be coming out soon after this video comes up, so I just wanted to go ahead and post this now just so you kind of get a heads up. We'll also be talking more about UV projections. We do already have a planar projection video already up. I'm going to go over cylindrical, spherical, and so on soon as well, to kind of talk about how to create the UVs as well as the editing process. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of give you a heads up what's going to be happening, because it's going to be a lot of focused material for the next few weeks. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoy going over these UV editor tools. Talk to you later.